Welcome in, and welcome back to the Sports Lounge Media. We got a special one tonight. Before we hop into things, I am your co-host DP from the Down South Philly Show. We got Ken from Ken's Pack Talk. We also happen to be two shows that are featured on the Sports Lounge Media, so check us out. I'm on Tuesdays at 7:30, and when do you go on, Ken?
Mondays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock Eastern. That's the Ken's Pats Talk Patriots podcast.
There we go. There we go. So we're not gonna hold you too long tonight. We got a few things to talk about. Obviously the first thing that's kind of buzzing in the NFL um as a whole is Aaron Rodgers finally deciding to sign with Pittsburgh. We kind of it wasn't a move that was, out of nowhere. We've been waiting on this for months now. Just wondering what they were doing, why they didn't draft anybody of note in the draft. And just seeing that it's finally come to fruition. Obviously, they traded Pickens away, but they did
Yeah, yeah.
bring the wide receiver from DK
DK Metcalf.
Metcalf. They brought in DK Metcalf and gave him some money. So what are your whole feelings? What's your feeling about Aaron Rodgers as a whole before we get started?
I mean, I guess it was the best move that Pittsburgh could make right now. I mean,
Mhm,
they had an offer out for Russell Wilson. He went to the Giants. They had an
mhm.
offer out for Fields. He went to the Jets or whatnot. I heard they was in on Stafford. That didn't happen. So I think you probably look at it. Rodgers was probably their third or their fourth option. He wasn't the option. He was their third
Right.
or fourth option. Because I thought they was going to bring back either Russell Fields, and then when they went elsewhere, I think it was more financially. The Jets probably offered him more than I think Russell. I heard that they wanted Russell Wilson back, but he went to the Giants probably financially too. But when you look at Rodgers, he's a Hall of Famer. He's probably
Yeah.
the greatest thrower of the ball of all time. And I'm a Patriots fan, and I love me some Tom Brady. That's my guy. He can throw the ball. Now the question is, I don't think. I mean, at 41, he'd be 42 in December. I think. I don't think he has a lot left. And then I don't like the setup that with the Steelers. You got DK Metcalf and what else? Calvin Austin, Roman
Yeah,
Wilson
the
going to come.
core is bare.
Yeah, I like Pat Freeman, but I mean, you basically swap Freeman, but you swapped out DK. I mean, swapped out Pickens for DK. I like that because Pickens he had a lot going on, and y'all gonna see him a lot this coming year in Dallas. But I don't like the setup. Then you got rid of not nobody's talking about this. Najee Harris, he's probably not the greatest back of all time, probably not the greatest back in Steelers history, but he had some pretty good games for the Steelers and whatnot. And then last year when they couldn't get a lot going, Najee Harris kind of put the team on his back at times. He goes to the Chargers. So now you got Jalen Warren, and I think they got the guy Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. They drafted the running back. I just think they missing. Then I'm hearing they in negotiations with Gabe Davis. I think they need something else. Maybe they're gonna make a trade for a John Smith, or maybe they're gonna sign a Martin Cooper still out there. I think they need something else. And then one more thing before I turn it over to you. The offensive line wasn't good last year.
Mm-mm.
And I don't think they've improved it a lot. I know they got Troy Faulkner. He didn't play last year. Then they got him coming back. I want to see how he does. But I don't like the setup there. I think the Jets setup that he was with for the 23 season, 24 season is way better personnel wise than when he's coming to the Steelers team. And last but not least, look at your division. You're gonna play Joe Burrow and the Bengals twice. You playing Lamar Jackson in Baltimore twice. Let's see what Shedeur, if he takes over and he takes command, he takes the quarterback job. That Browns defense still pretty good. It's gonna be good with Garrett, Mason Graham, Denzel Ward and company. I think. I don't think it's going to end well. And I like Rodgers, but I just don't think it's going to end well, man. Hey, but I think it was a desperation move. They're not going to go into the season with Mason Rudolph and Will Howard from Ohio State. They had to do something. And I mean, Rodgers doing Rodgers things, letting it play out for as long as he could, and look what happened, man. So we'll see, but I just don't got a good feeling about this. And generally, when I feel this way, my feeling's always right.
I gotta agree with you on that one on a few points. One, I'm kind of tired of this version of Aaron Rodgers, right? So we were all excited when he first got to the Jets. Obviously, like you said, they moved mountains for him. They got him wide receivers. They got offensive lineman. They did running backs. So everything, couple
Everything he wanted.
that was, yeah, everything he wanted, and the defense that he needed. But he popped his Achilles 4 plays in. So I mean, what could have been, who knows? Obviously, the next season, him being older with the same injury, you don't just bounce back from a young
Mm-mm.
guy doesn't just bounce back from an Achilles. So an older guy, it's even harder to do that. The defense wasn't as good as they were his first year. It just was a lot of drama outside of them being the Jets. They just surrounded by drama in the
Yeah,
first place.
yeah,
I'm kind of over the saga that is Aaron Rodgers at this point. I like what I'm seeing out of this ushering of the new quarterbacks that we have in the league now. Getting younger, pretty much across the board. I think outside of maybe a handful of quarterbacks, everybody is young, or
yeah.
relatively young at this point. I'm just ready for that new crop of talent to show. The Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers era is pretty much over. In my opinion, he should have left no later than when Brady decided to hang it up.
And
Um,
big picture wise, my thing is big picture wise, what is the vision for the Steelers? I mean, you're not going to win a Super Bowl, and you're
that's
probably not going to have a top five pick. And like I said on my show the other night, if y'all tuned in to Ken's Pats Talk, we live Monday and Thursdays. My thing is, you either got to be the Chiefs, the Eagles, and the Bills, who's in Super Bowl contention every year, or you got to be the Jaguars, the Cleveland Browns, or like the Tennessee Titans. You need to be
Mhm.
picking top five, or you need to be in Super Bowl conversation. You can't. The worst place you can be is in the middle. Me as a Patriot fan, that's why I'm glad we've been bad these past couple of years because we've got some great picks. Gonzalez,
Yeah.
Drake May, this year Will Campbell. The Steelers, see the thing is, Steelers are a weird team because they're never going to be picking top five, and they're not going to win the Super Bowl. They haven't been that good
Mhm.
since they go Tomlin good to win you about 7, 8, 9 games a year. He ain't really had. He probably gonna win eight. They probably gonna win 8, 9 games this year. He's never had a winning a losing season in Pittsburgh, so he good for about 8, 9 wins. But I think they hoping Rodgers can I guess elevate everybody else and win a couple playoff games because they're not winning Super Bowl. I just don't. My thing is, let's just say you win. Let's just say hypothetically they win 8, 9 games. You're probably picking about 18, 19, 20, 20
Mhm.
somewhere around there in the middle. What do you? I mean, I know they got a lot of picks in the draft this year, and they could always move up. But my thing is, why not just trot out Rudolph out there, or trot out Will Howard? They did all this for Rodgers just to win 8, 9, and I'm just assuming 8, 9 games. We
Right.
all thought the Jets was going to win the Super Bowl last year or go in a deep playoff run, and that was a disaster. So the proof is in the pudding that just signing Rodgers doesn't mean all your. I mean, then it's a 1 year deal. You're doing all this for 1 year when you could still have those 12 because they got 12 picks. Now, because they're probably going to win 8, 9 games, now you got to use those picks to move up in the draft because they're going to take a quarterback next year in Pittsburgh in the draft. You got to use all those assets when you could just sit tight, have a top five pick. Because we know Mason Rudolph ain't doing nothing for you. Will Howard, come on, stop it. You got him on day three. He ain't gonna do much for you. So my thing is, I would have said, man, the hell with Rodgers and just went with Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and just do like that. You guarantee a top 10 pick probably because their schedule is brutal. Their schedule is brutal. And everybody's saying, look at Rodgers' last few games last year. He was playing the Jaguars. They were picking top five. The Dolphins defense was horrendous last year, and one of those games without Tua. And I think it was one more game he played real good in. But other than that, he really ain't really he really hasn't done much. Like Aaron Rodgers, he had 2 games against the Dolphins he looked good in, and that game against Jacksonville. What about the other 15, 16 games? So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. If I was a Steelers, I got a friend that's a Steeler. He's a big time Steeler fan. I'm telling my man, listen, that's the worst thing y'all could do. Then y'all waited out for him. I think minicamp start next week for them.
Mhm.
They're about to go in a month. We're going like a little break for like a month. So really, he's not gonna have a lot of time with this. He's been on a break all damn off season so far. So now
Mhm.
they're about to go to another break. You don't have the personnel. So I don't know what Pittsburgh. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. Man, I'm assuming Tomlin's safe after this year. I'm assuming so,
I
but
don't
I
think
don't.
so. I
You don't think
think
so?
I think so when you talk to fans, obviously fans are tired of being in that quote unquote purgatory at the end every year, right? It's
Mhm.
it's you know it's okay to go to the playoffs, but you want to actually have a chance to win. And right now they're not better than the Ravens. They're not
Mm-mm.
better than the Browns. I mean the Browns. They could
Bengals.
be better. They are better than the Browns. They're not better than the Bengals though. Not for sure.
I think damn being better than the Browns is up for discussion. I mean,
That's
we
a
don't know
that's a
we
toss
don't
up.
know. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
that's a
toss
toss
up.
up. So I mean, you talking about third best in the division, and that's the best case scenario for them right now. Um, I I think, in my personal opinion, like you said, I wouldn't have worried about Rodgers. I would have probably tried to fortify the offensive line and maybe pick up a running back in the draft and just focus on bolstering the run game for whoever the quarterback is going to be next year.
Yeah.
They had a chance to grab Shedeur, they didn't do it, which is a perfect segue because now because they didn't pick him up, he was able to
Now you're gonna
get
see him
picked up in
twice
the
a
fifth
year.
round. Yeah, he was picked up in the fifth round by the Browns, and the report saying that he lightened it up in camp. Um, what are your thoughts on him even slipping that far
Real quick
in the
before we
draft?
get to Shador on the Rodgers and Steelers, just to piggyback real quick.
Yeah,
Do you think he wanted George Pickens traded for him to sign? Because I've been hearing that. Like, why? Because I thought when they traded Pickens, I was like, "There's no way Rodgers going there." Did you think he
I
probably
did.
wanted Pickens out of there?
I don't know. I really don't
I've been hearing that.
I think that was more when you think about how NFL organizations move. What this was his last year. He was wanting to get paid, and he had other things that distractions. So from looking at it from a GM standpoint, they probably wanted to get something for him because they
Yeah,
probably were going to let him walk.
won't go
So
resign. Yeah,
yeah. I think it was more so them wanting to get something for him before it was too late.
and Dallas
Because
was aggressive, needed a wide receiver
they
too.
need a wide receiver. So it's actually a match made in heaven because uh they need weapons in Pittsburgh. So
Yeah,
I think a lot of people when DK first got there, everybody was excited about that duo. I just wanted to see what it looked like, what the
yeah,
potential could be, but we'll never get to see that. And to your other point, before we get back on Shador, that team is just it's missing. They weren't a Rodgers away from competing.
right,
So why go get them? Why not, like you said, roll the dice with what you have, and kind of you don't want to say tank, but just do roll with what you got. Roll with what you got, and if you end up with a top 10 pick, that puts you in a better place to build for the future. So what if you missed the playoffs one year? It wasn't like you were going to win the AFC anyway. So
right,
why not do a soft rebuild now as opposed to having to blow it all up in the
right.
offseason potentially? Because if they fire Tomlin, then that's gonna
Start
blow up
from
everything.
scratch.
They don't have a head coach or quarterback or offensive line. So I mean, at that point, it's something that's they're gonna have to address anyway. So I 100% agree. I felt like they should have did a soft rebuild this year, see what
Hmm.
happens this season, and hope for a top 10, top 5 pick in 2026.
Gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, and knowing Tomlin, they probably will shock us and win 10 games and be right back
Yeah.
in the same place.
Yep.
That's just the way it goes with Pittsburgh. He's a great coach. He gets the most out of whatever talent he has.
Yeah.
But it could also be to his detriment because just remember when we think about Andy Reid and his greatness now, he still got fired from Philadelphia.
Hmm.
So, no one is above getting let go at a certain point. So, I mean,
Sometimes your
sometimes it's not,
talent just runs
yeah.
out.
And you're looking for a fresh start. So that's something that's possible. I'll be interested to see how it plays out. Hopefully, at the very least, Roger just finishes out the season. Um, but if we can just get him to finish out, play the full season, relatively healthy, and see where the chips fall, maybe we'll get a good Thursday night game or something like that. I don't know. See what he see what he has in the tank. But yeah, let's go to a little bit. Stay in the division, but it's reports that Shedeur Sanders, after have fallen to the fifth round, got picked up by the Browns. It was actually the second quarterback that they drafted same year, which was pretty weird. but there are some reports that he's lighting it up in camp. Um, I don't know where he is on the depth chart as of yet, but camp is camp.
Yeah.
We got to wait to see, one, if he's going to make the team with him being a fifth round pick, and two, where he's going to fall in that pecking order once games actually matter. So before we get into like him on the Browns, like I don't think we ever got your thoughts on him even falling that far in the draft. What are your thoughts on that whole situation?
Well, I think when you look at the NFL quarterback and today they want a quarterback to be mobile, make plays on the run, be able to move in the pocket. They don't like that tradition. You don't really have that traditional pocket quarterback anymore like we used to. If we are, they kind
Mhm,
of agent. Like Burrow, he's kind of just a pocket quarterback. He can move a little bit, but he's not
mhm.
really. He's not going to be out here looking like Michael Vick or
Right,
nothing like that. So I think that's the NFL is kind of done. They're trying to do it with the traditional quarterback and Shedeur he can move, but he can't move like Lamar Jackson
right,
or Jalen Hurts. Something he can't do that. So I think that's why his stock kind of failed. He played at Colorado. He didn't have the arm strength. Then the whole Deion Sanders situation. So I think all that. Now I didn't think I would. Me personally, I wanted him to go. Well, yeah, three to the Giants, so that
mhm.
my Patriots could get Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. That's what I wanted, and I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go down on that hill. I wanted Travis and Abdul Carter, so I was pumping the brakes for Shedeur. I like, yeah, man, he need to go 2 or 3. I was, that's what I want to happen.
Yeah,
But as the draft came on and whatnot, everybody kept saying the same thing. I was like, okay, he's probably going to go later on. I thought he would go to Pittsburgh, like we were just talking about
mhm.
later on, like in the 20s.
It made sense.
I didn't know we'd be waiting to day 3 to hear his name. Well, he went in the 5th round, right? Yeah, fifth
Mhm.
round. So
5th
I didn't
round.
think it'd be that late. I was hoping he'd go 2 and 3, but there was more hope than really thinking. You
Right.
know what I mean? So it kind of shocked me him going there. But to your last question, as for the depth chart, now I know OTAs and minicamp, that's shirts and t-shirts right now.
Right.
So shirts and t-shirts, it ain't really much. But at the same time, for where Shedeur is coming from, it's big because he was a 5th round pick, day 3. A lot of negative stuff was coming out. Because remember, at the combine, they was talking of him going number 1 overall in Tennessee or
Yep.
even 2. And then I don't know what happened. Everything just went downhill from there. All
I've
these
never
negative
seen that
reports.
happen
It's
before with
crazy and it's
any.
scary too.
Yeah,
So, like, I mean, who's he competing against? He's definitely making the team.
I
Who's
think
he
so.
competing? Who's he competing against?
So
Kenny
so they
Pickett,
got they got they got Joe Flacco, Kenny
Kenny
Pickett,
Pickett, and
the
Gabriel.
guy. Yeah. So I mean, right
And
now,
Watson not playing this year, so he's a non-factor. It's like
yeah,
Joe Flacco's is almost 40 something years old. I think he
you
might be
know you
already
know what
40.
you're getting out of Joe.
Yeah,
You
Flacco
kind
gonna
of know
come
what
out
you're getting
there.
out of Pickett too.
Yeah, Flacco is a older Jameis Winston. When
Hmm.
he's on, but I mean, he just gonna do something crazy. This not the younger
Hmm.
Flacco. Kenny Pickett doesn't have the orange string. He didn't last long in Pittsburgh. And then you got
He's a
Dylan Gabriel.
backup.
Yeah, he's a backer. You got Dylan Gabriel.
Hmm.
He's a left. He reminds me of Tua a little bit. Dylan
Hmm.
Gabriel, how he's a left-hander. He's small though. So I heard he's been doing pretty good in camp. Competition-wise, Shedeur should knock this out the ballpark. If you want to be
That's what
honest
I'm
with it.
thinking. That's what I'm
And then
thinking.
he's about to have a training camp with this offense and the coordinator and all. He's gonna have what we got 3 preseason games now, and he's
Hmm.
gonna play a lot. Whoever I
His
don't know who Cleveland plays week 1, but I think Cleveland. I think he might could start week 1. If he's not starting week 1, let's just say it's Flacco. In 3 weeks, Shedeur could be starting because the fans could be calling for it, and Flacco could be on lost his job. But he's gonna make the team. I think I seen right now he's not 1 or 2 on the depth chart, but that's just
Mhm.
bro. We 3 months
It's
from the
camp.
from the season.
It's camp.
Yeah, I think he's gonna light up and count when the pads come on, when they really can get close to you and hit you. Well, you can't really hit the quarterbacks nowadays. In the preseason, he's going to look real good. I think
Mhm.
Shedeur got a chance to start. If he's not starting week 1, he'll be starting in terms of like he'll be starting by the end of the first month. I think.
Well, here's the other thing that's just as important as what he's doing on the field. He's already got that locker room. And
Yeah,
as a quarterback to already have that locker room, they're kind of waiting for, Joe Flacco throw a pick or fumble or just mess up in general. Now that everybody cutting their
they're
eyes
gonna be
to,
calling for it. Yep.
yeah, they cutting their eyes to who's up next. So I think obviously it wasn't ideal for him to get picked in the fifth round, but I think he's gonna have every opportunity to start in this league at some point.
He don't got
Even
much
if
to
for some
lose.
reason, yeah, yeah. I mean, even if for some reason he ends up, let's say he ends up getting cut for some strange reason, he's gonna have enough tape. Somebody's gonna pick him up and give him a chance because it's not 32 starters in the league. So all you need is for one team to give you a chance, right? We think about the Browns because they just don't have a quarterback, and they haven't had a quarterback for a very long time. Um, but Browns do Browns things, right? They're the ones that gave Watson a fully guaranteed contract that they're paying through the nose for to this day.
Right.
While he sits on the sideline, by the way. Um,
Ridiculous.
yeah, so I think he has a good chance to start, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we just have to see, man. You mean tell me the Saints couldn't use Shedeur
Right.
Sanders?
Right.
Uh,
It's a
really? Like I can go. It's a lot of teams out there,
that
man. Like
needed
the
quarterbacks.
interesting thing is the Browns are going to have. I think they got Jacksonville first round pick next year. So
Yep.
let's just say Jacksonville be bad. The Browns might be looking punting on quarterback for this year.
Mhm.
And if Shador balls out, Shador probably gonna be the guy. He's cheap. You ain't
Mhm.
paying him nothing. You can build your team around Shador. If not, I like the position that the Browns are in because they're gonna have a top pick next year. They can really get their guy. Or we could just say, okay, we're gonna see what Shador has this year, and we might stick with Shador. So we'll
But
see what happens.
it's a steal for them because he's a first round talent that they got in the fifth. So,
Right.
if he does pan out, I mean, like you said, he's already on the rookie deal, but he's on a fifth round rookie deal, which is a lot
Hmm.
more palatable when it comes time for that second contract or extension. But all he got to do is take care of his end, and quarterbacks can print money with the
Yeah.
contracts that they get. So he'll be fine from that aspect.
Yeah.
Um, but we getting closer and closer to this kickoff in
Yeah.
the regular season. So what would you say? Who would you say rookie wise are you most interested in seeing put on the pads in September?
Oh boy. Just one
Just
guy.
in what I mean, however many rookies.
All
Who you
right.
most
First,
excited to see put them on?
this is gonna make. I'm about to vomit, man. This gonna make me sick. I want to see Travis Hunter. That's what I
Really?
want because I'm talking about from the combine through free agency
Yeah.
through the first few weeks of April. I just knew we were getting Travis Hunter, bro. I just knew. I said, "Oh yeah, you know what I mean? We good. We about
Yeah.
to get Travis Drake May, Travis Hunter." I just knew it. We had to win. We could have made it a lot more easier. We won that daggone game against Buffalo, the final game of the season, final game of the year last year. And we lost that game. We locked in at 3. No, we get the number one overall pick. So
Mhm.
we could take Hunter at 1, or we could trade back a couple spots to somebody want Cam Ward, get a couple picks, get a first next year, a couple more picks, and still take Hunter. Or I would have took Carter too, Hunter or Carter. Flip a coin. But
Absolutely.
I really want Travis Hunter. I really want Hunter. But bro, man, we won that game. I was like, okay, now we all the way down to 4. I said, okay, well, everybody was talking about Shador and all them. They going top 3. I said, we just need 2 quarterbacks to go, and then we're gonna end up with Travis on the card. I don't have it falls. And then as everybody started coming out reports that Shador's far, I said, oh man, here we go.
Mhm.
I thought the Giants were gonna take Shador. I thought that all the way up to
I
the
did
final
too.
day of the draft. But they took Abdul Carter. I said, man, we got Will Campbell. And I'm happy with Campbell. It's not a flashy pick, but we got him.
Right.
But Travis Hunter's who I really want to see. If he's good in Jacksonville, bro, I'm gonna be sick. Like I'm gonna be sick, man. I hope he do bad. I hope he do bad in Jacksonville, to be honest with you.
I
But
think he's probably the most interesting from that standpoint because is he going to play like what's the split going to be? Is he going to be primarily defense with a package on offense? Is he going to be primarily offense and throw him in the nickel or spots of the cornerback? Because we've never seen a player play both sides of the ball full time. So I'm interested to see how they plan on implementing him into the
just
NFL.
just imagine him being their he's probably the number 2 receiver. Well, he should
Mhm.
be number 1 all the capital they gave, but he should be number 1 receiver and number 1 corner. But just imagine him being receiver opposite Brian Thomas, running routes. And then now on when the turnover on downs on the next possession, when it's changing possession, now you gotta go out there and cover Jamar Chase. Or you gotta
Yeah,
cover Justin. Like, come on, but I don't know how it's gonna work. Signs always having a pretty good offseason with OT. I see he made a crazy interception or something. Well, it
yeah, I
wasn't
saw
an
that too.
interception, but we're gonna see it. He's small too, so I got to see how his body hold up.
Right.
But I want to see Travis Hunter, and from the Patriots, I want to see my boy Cal Williams, wide receiver out of Washington State.
Mm,
I don't know if y'all heard of him. If you ain't, you're
yeah,
gonna be familiar with him this year. I want to see him and my boy. I said on my show. I don't know if y'all checked it out last night. Efton Chisholm, the Patriots.
I remember you
I
saying
think
that.
we found another white slot receiver. I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
I think we found another slot receiver, and we good at finding these guys. We got Edelman, we had Edelman, Amendola, we had Welker. So we'll see, man. But I think we got one with this Efton Chisholm. Keep an eye, hey, listen out for that name this season. But
Okay.
yeah, Travis Hunter really hard want to see, man. I'm gonna be hurt, bro. I'm gonna be hurt. I just knew we was getting them.
I I think I always, and it's not like I watched all of his season in college, but I always felt like he was a better corner than wide receiver. So I would suspect
Natural at
without
corner.
without yeah, without knowing anything, that he would start as the corner and maybe have a package on offense, and kind of
Mm,
like ease his way in,
mm.
on the offensive side of the ball. But I don't know. Maybe they got different plans over there. That'll be interesting to see. Me personally, on my team, I would say we drafted Andrew Makuba in the second round, out of Texas. So I'm team wise, I'm most excited to see what he can do. He's in a camp battle with a third year guy by the name of Sidney Brown, who
Mm.
came out of
Illinois, I think.
Illinois. He came
Yeah.
out of Illinois. So that I suspect that battle is probably going to go way up until maybe even preseason. I'm interested to see, even if he can't win, what he can give us maybe on special teams. Um, and with us, trading away CJ Garner Johnson to the Texans, obviously we need somebody to step up and, kind of fill that role. Outside of my team, I would say I got to stay in the division. Abdul Carter, he's just a beast, right?
Oh boy.
I think I want to see him, but on that defense, because they got some dogs on that defense now. So they
Woo.
got Abdul Carter, they got Dexter Lawrence, they got
Brian
Burns.
Burns,
It's somebody,
Kayvon,
yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau. So they have a
Chauncey
nasty
Golston from
package.
Dallas.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
defense was already
Paulson and
legit.
Debo. What's the safety from the Dolphins? I can't think of his
I
daggone
can't call
name.
his
The
name
safety from
either,
they gave him the big money.
but
They got some dogs.
that defense is should be legit. So
Yeah,
I'm interested to see how he fits into that, and how they look overall.
yeah.
Everybody in my division got better, so it should be
Is
interesting.
Jahad Campbell gonna be ready?
So the reports now are saying that he uh will be playing in camp, not mini camp, but hopefully after that, he could possibly be in there. So he's got a rotator cuff that he's healing from, and I think it might have been a knee issue as
Javon
well.
Holland, that's his name. Javon from the
Yeah,
I had to
that's
look
what
at
it
that.
is.
Javon Holland.
That's what it is. So, I mean, everything's pointing to him being ready before N'Kobe Dean. N'Kobe Dean had a torn
He's
patella
always hurt.
tendon. Yeah, but he had a hell of a season last year
Yeah,
before
he
he.
did.
His main thing is, he was always undersized, and when he got to the NFL, he just had some bad luck. So we'll see who comes back first. I'm also excited about our rookie Smile Munden out of Georgia. This is giving him some of those snaps, right? That would have been taken by a Dean or by a
His
Jahad Campbell.
brother, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I know you mean.
He's a smaller linebacker.
Mhm.
One of those speed guys. And then of course we have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. So between those two, him and Smile Munden are probably gonna be taking those reps that would be Jahad Campbell and Dean, because obviously we got Bond. We did extend Bond. which he had a hell of a season last year out of nowhere. So yeah, I would say on my team, Makuba and Abdul Carter is the other one that I'm most excited to see. Did you have any other honorable mentions?
Uh, I mean, we got to play. We see Ashton Genty week one. Raiders come to
Oh,
New England, so
that'll be
that's gonna be
interesting.
interesting. Then week two, we got who did Miami draft? And they took a guard or something like that. I mean, yeah, Ashton Genty. I hope. I mean, I want to have a good career. I met him at the Super Bowl last year. I had credentials down there for Radio Road. Cool guy. Took a picture with him and all that. Just don't have a good day against us. I want to have a good year, but just not against us. He can start after week one. He can go off. Just we got to hold him up on the routes week one.
Yeah. I'm excited. Outside of the rookies, like I'm excited that Vrabel is back in New England, right? He seems like a New England guy. Obviously he played there, but he seems like a perfect fit for New England. He did a hell of a job in Tennessee, always had them playing pretty
Always
damn good
had
football.
them late, had them in the playoffs. Those
Right.
physical teams, and they were
Mhm.
competitive. They was always been a thorn in somebody's tails, man.
Yep, yep. And ultimately, I think his GM got him fired, you know.
Yeah, that's what
You
they
know,
say. Yeah.
once he once they got rid of AJ, it was
It
kind of
went
downhill,
downhill.
and they never really replaced well, they never really had a
They got
quarterback to speak of.
Traylon Burks, but that was a mess.
Yeah. But I mean, outside of that, they didn't have anybody to get him the ball in the first place. Cause I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he got the most out of
Tannehill.
Tannehill. Tannehill had his best season ever. I think didn't they go to the AFC championship?
They lost.
Did
They went to
they
the
lost?
championship. They lost to the Chiefs,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, for
and they
him
went
to
to
take
Baltimore and won a game. They went to New England,
Mhm.
won a game, so they could have had Derrick Henry.
Right. So he knows how to get the most out of his team. Obviously, he's gonna know defense. So I think once they figure out well, I mean, they just drafted the kid number one overall. So I guess we gotta wait to see what Cam Ward is gonna be on this
Yeah, I want
level.
to see what Cam Ward. I mean, I'm seeing some clips on the top. I think he's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just all about giving him time. I like to give rookies grace,
He looks like he has it.
especially yeah, he does. He does.
Looks like it. I
But
got to see it, but yeah, he looks like it.
this is the NFL, so I mean, we got to give him a second to adjust. Not only this season, but maybe a year or two. Once they get some weapons around him, and see what he does. Like I said, I always like to give rookies grace because a lot of people, especially when you drafted that high, they expect you to come out the gate looking like the second coming of your favorite quarterback. And most of the time that's not the case. It could be that you don't have a line. It could be that you don't have the weapons. You might not
Mhm,
have the coaching. So it's a
mhm.
lot of things that's up in the air that can contribute to either your success or your downfall. So hopefully they put him in the best position to win. Um, and that's a winnable division. The Texans,
Yeah.
I would say, are in the lead of that division, and I suspect them to continue to be number one this year. But we'll see. Outside
How
of the
you
Texans, they can do something.
how you feel about Drake May?
I like Drake May. I like
Mhm,
Drake May, and I feel the same way about him when it comes to that grace thing.
mhm.
He falls in that category. Obviously, he was just drafted what last year or the year
Third
before.
overall. Mhm.
Okay, so um, it's just about getting him some talent. I know that
Yeah.
that New England hasn't been great when it comes to drafting weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Defense pretty much figured out, but
Mhm.
offense, for whatever reason, it just hasn't been the greatest to pick. So hopefully, they fortified that offensive line. I know y'all picked
Stephon
up
Diggs.
yeah, I know y'all picked up some pieces in the draft,
Yeah.
got
Mhm.
digs. So I'll be interested to see him take that leap this year.
Yes, sir.
Especially with, having Bravo in the building. Um we'll see. We'll see. I like him though.
Yeah.
But like I said, I like to give young guys grace. So what are your expectations coming into this season for May?
Hey, we're gonna go as far as May takes us. We're gonna
Mm,
go as far as May take because it's right there. there's no excuse, and I ain't trying to. I'm just saying like there's he's not going to have the least like he had last year. He turned the ball over a little bit last, and it wasn't his fault, but we kind of pat him on the back and said that's okay. The situation around you is not good. You know what I mean? So that's
Mhm.
what we said last year. Offensive line was a mess. Receivers were. Can you name any receivers? Not now, but could you name any receivers on the Patriots last year?
No, no, I know
Okay,
y'all had somebody by name of Booty, but that's about
yeah,
it.
that's it. So the receiver we had last year probably threes and probably fours or fives on other teams.
Yeah,
Coaching was a mess. It was a rookie coaching, bad personnel around them, just bad offense. Like it was a mess last year. This year he's not going to get that leash because he played good last year with what
right.
he was working with. This year I want to see you take that next step. Now,
Yeah,
when I'm not asking for Super Bowl in year two, I'm not even asking for. I'm not even asking for a playoff berth this year. I just want us to be better because I'm realistic. Want us to be better than what we were, and be competitive. Win by 8, 9 games to be fighting, be a playoff contender. Like in the last weeks, be there fighting for the playoff spot. I'm not asking for a play. I would love it. I wouldn't mind it, but I'm not asking for you to get into the playoff. If you do it, that's great. But I got us winning like 8, 9 games, and every year you're gonna win a game you shouldn't win. You're gonna lose a couple that you shouldn't. So if May takes that leap and everything gels and comes together as I'm hearing it, because we got Josh McDaniels back, got the offense quarterback back. I think, like I said, we can win 8, the 9 to 10 games, or even more, and then May just got to take that. He got to if he takes that step, and it didn't click for Josh Allen until he got Stephon Diggs, like in year 3 or 4. Because him and Drake May are kind of similar, turn the ball over a lot or whatnot. So it didn't click for him. It might not click this year, but I definitely want to see I want to see that game where I say we definitely got our guy. We got our guy. I want to be able to. I didn't say that last year, rookie. I want to see him take that next step, cut down the turnovers, and because like my life is he had what 10 picks last year, but 5 of them were bobbles off somebody's head or I
mhm.
mean off their hands, something like that. So he really didn't make bad mistakes, like really really bad mistakes last year. So I just want to see him take that lead, and I think we got offensive line, we got Diz, you got some personnel, and let's just see, man. But I think we're gonna go as far as May. You gotta have that quarterback. If you ain't got the quarterback, you ain't going far. But I think I got a pretty good feeling about May in this season. I really do.
To your point, I think that you should have those realistic expectations. The thing that you need to find out of this season, like you said, is May gonna be that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Because and the only way to figure that out is to get him a number one wide receiver. Like you said, when Josh Allen got Diggs, that took his game to another
To the
level.
next level. Yep.
When Hurts got AJ, that took us to a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother level.
Yep.
Even when you go to Dallas and you look at when they got Amari Cooper, that
Mm-hmm.
took them
Yeah.
to another
Yep.
level. So you need to have a number one wide receiver to find out what you have at quarterback. And then, if things lead up, then you add more weapons around them, or, you may have to decide to go back to the well. But yeah, I think this is probably one of the best things that y'all could have done, especially with not having a great track record of drafting wide receivers. Go get a proven guy,
Mm-hmm.
and see what you got. So if you can find out that Drake May's the guy, hey, I say that's a successful season, playoffs or
Yes, sir.
not.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all we had for this one. We didn't want to
I
keep
want to
y'all
ask you
long.
one thing before we got off.
Yeah, yeah,
How
go
do
ahead.
you feel about your number 3 wide receiver? I know y'all got AJ Brown, you got Devontae Smith. How you
Yeah,
feel about that third wide receiver? I don't think y'all addressed it this offseason or in the draft. I know you still got Jahan Dotson, and I
yeah.
didn't really see a lot from him. I mean, he had a pretty good Super Bowl, but he caught like 1 or 2 passes. He didn't score that touchdown or whatnot. How you feel about that, Nick? I think that could be a weakness for y'all. That number. I know y'all still got Dallas Goddard. Y'all rework his contract, so he could be the number 3 option. But how do you feel about the number 3 receiver behind AJ Brown and Devontae Smith by Jahan Dotson?
I like Jahan. I liked him last year. I felt like where some Eagles fans may have been too hard on him just because they didn't see him be utilized, but that's it. He just wasn't utilized. It wasn't like he
Mhm.
wasn't where he was supposed to be. Every time we asked Jahan Dotson to make a play last year, he made it.
Okay.
He just happens to be behind AJ and
Mm.
Smitty. So I mean, it's only one ball to go around. Plus, we
Yeah.
got a top 10 tight end. and Saquon running for 2,000 yards in the backfield. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, and he came in kind of late. I think
Training camp, I
we
think.
yeah, training camp. So he didn't get a chance to really get that rapport that the other wide receivers could have gotten from him. So it wasn't that he wasn't making plays, it's just that he wasn't getting those touches. So this year he's got a full off season. He even got a number change to number 2. Sometimes that can mean all for
Oh, he
getting
changed
the
his number.
swag back, right? So he was 83 last year because he came in
Yeah.
so late. Changed it down to number 2. Um,
Okay.
so I actually expect this to be a breakout year for him. Now we did decline his 5th year option.
Mm,
So this is a officially a prove it year for him.
yeah.
But I think, he's got all the motivation to continue that trajectory that he started last year. He was the first round draft pick in Washington. So he has the talent. It's just about being able to show it. So I expect him to be, one of those breakout candidates. Just all he can do is take advantage of the opportunities that he gets. So
What would
like
you
I
say
said,
would be a good stat line for him being like the number third? Well, he's probably be like the fourth or fifth option now because
he'll
you
be
got
third.
Saquon about it. So what about 40 catches, about 400 or 500 yards, couple touch something like
I
that,
would say in
or
there, yeah, about 500 to 600 yards, at the max.
because
That's
he's gonna be
probably
getting the
his.
third corner. He's gonna be getting the
Yeah.
third or the fourth corner. So
Hmm.
you got to eat that or whatnot. He
Got
gonna get
to.
it. Yeah, yeah. So
With Saquon in the backfield and AJ
yeah,
Dillon in the backfield. So I mean, it, it's really set up for him to have a breakout year. So as long as he can stay healthy, he'll even if we don't pay him what he's ultimately gonna be worth, somebody will pay him.
yeah.
So yeah, this will be a breakout year for him. So, so yeah, we didn't want to hold y'all too long tonight. We appreciate y'all tuning into the Sports Lounge Media. We did chop it up. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Um, Make sure that you tune into both of our shows. So, with me, I got the Down South Philly show that comes on at 7:30 on Tuesdays Eastern Standard. And Ken, tell them when Ken's Pat Talk comes on.
So make sure y'all tune in every Mondays and Thursdays right here. And the show is powered by the Sportsline Media. So right here on the Sportsline Media Network, turn in Mondays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Ken's Pat talk some Patriots news. I talk some NFL news. I'm going to be having some special guests. So make sure you tune in every Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern for your latest NFL news and mainly Patriots news. Appreciate it.
You heard it here first. This is the Sports Lounge Media tuning out. Y'all have a great one.